So good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. And just some technical thing. If you have any question, please feel free to unmute yourself or to type it into the chat box. Both could work. Looking forward to your questions. If anything comes up that's not clear, please let us know and we can go into details. Okay, so what if we start with some clearings? Okay, so what have we decided about who we are as infinite beings? And what have we decided about information? That what is information and what is the information we are allowed to know? And what is the information that should stay as secret and even secret from us? Like we are not allowed to have that secret. And everywhere we agreed to, either consciously or unconsciously, to not have the secrets or not see the secrets or not have access to any secrets that let's say would be dangerous to us, or we are not grown-ups yet for that secret, like we are not ready for that secret. Will you destroy and uncreate all that and return back to the sender? Like how much of our life was lived in that state that we allowed others to control us, allowed others to have all that secret, to have access to secrets that gave them power over us. And everywhere, this is still the situation where you destroy and uncreate. And all different lifetimes when you had access to secrets, when you had access more information than other people had, and you were killed or tortured for that, and you decided no more, I don't need to have more information than others, I rather live a general life than anyone else, so will you now destroy and uncreate all that too? And actually everything that doesn't allow you to use the additional information that you can have and to create a greater life than others have, even anything that doesn't allow you to choose beyond other people's reality. And everywhere you decided that your reality has to be equal than other people's reality, will you now destroy and uncreate all that for all eternity? Cool. And actually, yeah, anywhere where you decided it's safer to not know that much, to not have access to information, to not have access to surplus information, will you destroy and uncreate all that too and return back to the sender? And all the different lifetimes when it was told to you that if you know more than others, it's unfair. If you use your additional capacities, that is unfair and you will be punished, will you destroy and uncreate all that? And actually, how many lifetimes have you been pronounced or said that you are a witch, and for that you have to pay, you have to be tortured because you are a witch and you have capacities that only witch can have, and they have to be killed or tortured for this. So everywhere you decided you are not going to have these capacities ever again because you or your beloved ones would have been tortured for this, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Cool. And as well, everywhere you agreed that others can have more information than you, and it is sort of like safe if they lead you because they are the ones, they are the chosen ones. So it's the right way for life to allow the chosen ones to lead you. Will you now destroy and uncreate all that too? Like, what if you can have the capacities to be a leader? What if you can be a leader without the need for leading others? And what have you decided about being a leader? That how many ways you can be a leader? Or what is the ways that as being a leader that would be, let's say, that would create problems in the world? So all your points of view about being a leader and in which ways you are allowed to be a leader, in which ways you should not be a leader. Will you destroy and uncreate all that too? Cool. So are you allowed to work with your body, to have access to your body? Like, in which many ways have we give away our capacities over our bodies to doctors or any health practitioners? Like anywhere where we decided that they know better than what we know, and anytime and everywhere it was told to you that only they know and you don't know, and you need a certificate or a degree as a doctor in order to have access to such information. And if you don't have that information or don't have that certificate or degree, then it's better if you don't talk about it at all. Like, will you destroy and uncreate all that? What if you have total right to access your body? What if you have total right to access all information as an infinite being? And everywhere you decided, and everywhere it was told to you that you should not have access to information at all, you can only know what you have learned, and there is no such thing to know things that you never learned, or things that happened to you in previous lifetimes or in other dimensions. So will you destroy and uncreate all that? So there are some basic things. For example, if we talk about who we are, one part is that you are an infinite being, and also you have a body. And when we talk about body, that includes all the energetic layers and all the physical layers of the body and everything that actually belongs to the body. And you as an infinite being, there is another part, let's say we can call it the soul, or we can call it the karma. So actually this is not, let's say, this is not a real part of who you are, but this is all the memories of the past actions. And there is this idea that if I do something bad, something that is not right, I have to balance it out. And any lifetime when you did something bad, and now you are trying to balance it out, like now you have to pay for that, now you have to suffer for that. Like all these points of view that you still have to suffer for something that you did 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10, or 100 lifetimes before, will you destroy and uncreate all that for all eternity? So anywhere where you still maintain this whole idea of soul and karma, everywhere where you still function from that space, everywhere you decided this is how it should be, this is part of life, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Because actually this creates so many limitations. It creates like walls and barriers that are holding you back from functioning from the space of the infinite being that you are. So what does it mean, infinite being you are? Like, what is the information, and who are you as an infinite being? Like, what can you be? What can you do? Like, what if there are no limitations about what can you do or what can you be? And of course, you can say there has to be limitations because my body is also limited. Or there has to be limitations because it seems everyone is limited. Like we are not like Superman and we are not like God. But what if we are not like any of them? Just because we never had the information, and just because we never tried it, we never played with it. And as long as we don't play with it, it cannot show up. Just because we didn't have the information, it doesn't mean we are not that or we don't have that capacity. And if you look around, there are so many people who have magical capacities, and they are like walking in that adventure of finding out more and more about what else is really possible as an infinite being. When we talk about the infinite being and why is it infinite being, it's like having access to infinite capacities and having access to infinite possibilities. And the infinite possibilities, like you can say, what does it mean infinite possibility when I have a profession, I have a job, and I know how much I can earn from this job, or I have a business, and from year to year, I earn a certain amount and it's impossible to earn like 10 times more, 100 times more. But the question is that, did you ever choose to earn more? Or did you ever choose to create something greater? And you may say, yes, I was choosing, but nothing showed up. Maybe there is a question. What does it mean? Choice. What does it mean choosing something greater? And here comes the part of infinite possibilities. And you can say, okay, I could choose to have millions of dollars, but nothing shows up, and it's also not real. The interesting part is that when you choose something, let's say you choose to have access to a much greater business, or you choose to generate much more money, or you choose to heal from a disease, from an illness, then what happens, everything starts to align to your choice. And most of the people try to choose things that they already have the resources for. But actually, in that case, it's like you have all the Lego pieces and you always build the same kind of house from that, or the same kind of building structure. With the choice, or with true choice, you can choose anything, and as you choose it, it starts to show up, and everything that's required for that starts to show up. So choice is really a bit different from how we used it in the past. It's like you can choose to generate a multi-million-dollar global business, and as you keep choosing it, all the things that are required for that starts to show up. Like you start to have international connections, you start to have great ideas. Of course, it will not show up if you do nothing. So you also have to put your part into it. You also have to make those actions when these things show up. But the amazing thing is that we can create even if we don't have any resource for that. So what is it that you can choose? And it's not just about business, it's also about your body, it's also about your future. Like, for example, you can say, okay, I would like to buy $1 million home, but I don't have $1 million, so I cannot buy it. But if you choose to have it, you start to have more and more money flowing into your bank account. You start to see more opportunities, and you start to be able to choose those opportunities and generate more money. So the question is that, again, who we are as infinite beings, and in which many ways are we connected to this reality? In which many ways there is no way out, because all the limitations of this reality keep telling us that it's impossible. But actually it starts with an action. It starts with us stepping into this capacity, stepping into our choice. Do you have any questions so far? Okay. All right. So, so the other question is that, like, if we really have all these capacities, why don't we know about it? Or why can't we sense it? Or how should I feel myself with having all these capacities? And it's another interesting thing that if you don't choose anything, then you will have no capacities for that. Like if you choose to, like you're a teenager and you choose to become a doctor, then in this reality, there are rules how you should become a doctor. And people start to follow these rules and regulations. They make it so strong, so significant that they don't try to look into it in any different way. So how could we create a different life if you always see and try to use our realities, limitations or rules to play this game? Because, you know, as long as we play based on the rules of this reality, we will just create with that speed, we will create only those possibilities or only those results. So what would it take for us to start to change this and start to sort of like play with our capacities? Like you can start with the small things and see how it works for you. And on the way, you will see that what can you do, or what can you choose, or how it works in your daily life. Like you can play with small things, really. Okay, there's a question like, where do we find the inspiration? Just a quick question. What do you mean by inspiration? Like inspiration to create something? Uh-huh. Like, you mean who does this belong to? Or I just have a question. Like, what if you have, like, all right, when we talk about ideas, actually there are so many entities around us, but it's still your choice. Like, what is the future that you could create? Like, you could become a doctor, or you could become a businessman, you could become and anyone who you would like to become. And it's up to you which way you would like to do it or go for that. And it's not, there is no wrongness if your parents were doctors and because honoring them, you become a doctor and you become even greater doctor than they were. Like, it's not a problem if you function, if you choose from your past and you create something great because you are honoring your past, you are honoring your parents. And there will be, let's say, ideas, there will be entities who can help you. Like if you would like to write a book, the idea of a book is also an entity that has consciousness, and it can help you to make that book happen. Not just to write that book, but even invite the publishing company or the person who will make the illustrations for the book. So this reality is much greater and more expanded than what we get used to. Like, allow yourself to start to receive, let's say, all the 95% that is beyond our five senses. Because actually with the five senses, we can only receive and only see and sense just 5% of the whole reality. And beyond the senses, where we have, let's call it the sixth sense, I would rather say it's our awareness that can give us that additional 95%. And actually, entities are part of it. Entities are such an amazing part of our life. These are beings with consciousness who doesn't have a body. Either they never came to Earth or they passed away. So there is such, let's say, there is a limitation what we keep functioning from, and it is the body. Actually, your body is not a limitation, but what we function from regarding our body, that is a limited space. Like all the teachings about the body, it's telling you that you don't know about the body. The body is sort of like gifted from your parents. So your DNA and all the genetic parts are describing your body. And this is not changeable. And either you are lucky or not. And the way your body is working and recovering is sort of like the result of your ancestors' genetic codes. Of course, sometimes if you follow a good diet, if you have go and practice sports, or you take all the supplements that can help you, but it still will be limited. And as long as we function from this point of view, it will maintain that limitation, because we still don't allow the body to function from the space of infinite possibilities. Because you as an infinite being, you can function from that. And your body also has the capacity to function from that. Like your body desire to keep changing. But also we have a point of view that once something is good for us, we don't want to change any longer, because now things are good. So I want it to stay as that. But actually, we need to keep changing, because once we stop changing, it starts to create aging, and it starts to sort of like break down the body and break down all these building structures. Now there is a question, should we work with entities, and how do we choose the right ones? Well, so I mentioned before awareness. So awareness is sort of like beyond your five senses. Other people call it like gut feeling or sixth sense. So there are two things here. One is awareness. Awareness is that you sense that something is possible here, or you sense, you have a sensation regarding a topic or regarding a person. But also, for example, you have itchy skin, or there is a rush on your skin. That is as well part of your awareness. Let's say someone is talking about you, like bad mouthing about you, some of your friends, and telling you like, hey, and they are telling to someone else that you are not a kind person, you did this, you did that. And when it happens, suddenly you start to sense it, and it may show up on your skin. Like some people says that they are telling things that are shameful to me. And you know, when you are ashamed, your skin becomes like red. There is like red rush on your skin when you are ashamed sometimes. So how many times had you had that, and you said, oh, it's because I went out to the air and you know, it was so cold, it was so windy, it's just because that, or maybe my skin is dry, this is why I have this red rash, but I will apply some cream and it will be okay. But are you willing to receive the information that shows up in your body? Like, as long as we say we have, let's say we have a response, like we have an idea, or we have, let's say, a false information that this is only something that it belongs to the windy weather. You know, like there was no question in that. We didn't even try to access our awareness. We just bought into that. Anytime when we have that, then it belongs to the cold air, or it's wind, or maybe it belongs to a wrong diet. If you start to ask questions, then you start to become aware of what is that, or you can connect to that bodily sensation or to that symptom. And by connecting to it, you start to sort of like receive information about what's happening really. And sometimes you can even have the idea, you can have an image that your friend is bad-mouthing about you. But let's say a lot of people think like, if I have a friend wouldn't do that. So you already have a point of view and an expectation that a friend never do this. And if you judge your friend as a true friend, that means you already created a limitation, a barrier that doesn't allow you to have clarity about what's happening. So your awareness is telling you and showing you through your body what's happening, but you don't have clarity attached to it. So you don't see clearly that what is happening. So from awareness to clarity, there is sort of like a translation is required. In awareness, a sign is showed to you, but in order to have information from that sign, you are the one who needs to translate it. And as many points of view we have, that sort of like limits the translation, that holds you back from even from trying to translate it, even from trying to find out what's the reason for this, because you already have the answer. This is because either a wrong diet or because of the windy weather. So there was a question like, how do we use our awareness, or how do we choose the right entities? So there is this tool, let's say the light and heavy. The light and heavy means anything that's true for you will create a sensation of lightness, either in your body or in your being. In your body, it can be some physical reaction. Let's say some of your muscles starts to release or get relaxed, or your breathing become more relaxed. Or as a being, you start to sense some spaciousness, ease. And if something is not true for you, then you start to feel more contracted in the body, like your muscles get contracted, or your breathing become heavy or hard to breathe. And also as a being, you can feel that some kind of a contraction, like your space, your reality becomes very small. And if you connect to any situation or anything, any statement, like someone tells you something, you can connect to that statement and see if that is true for you. Let's say someone tells you, there is a great diet, you have to try it, and it will be amazing for you. And you can connect to this statement and test it. See, okay, if I choose this diet, will that create greater for me? And then you can sense whether there is an expansion or there is a contraction. If it's an expansion, it's a contribution to you. If it's a contraction, then it's not. So this is a way how you can also test all the entities, and you can see whether an entity that shows up in your life, will that be a contribution to you? Will that be a contribution to your business? Because of course, there are so many entities who can show up, and not all of them is a contribution. I think, yes, Silvana, if you could help me, there is a question in the chat box, please.
Okay, so how can we have the awareness when there's a physical symptom or an information on awareness?
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, so you can, of course, you can connect to that symptom, and you can ask questions whether, like, okay, so is this about my body? Like, is this, like, am I aware of something, or is this really connected to me? Because of course it can happen that you get an illness. Of course that can happen, but it's still worth to ask the question. And then again, you can use the light and heavy tool, whether it's true for you, like that is a symptom about you.
Rocco, just 1 second, you are breaking up for me.
Okay, yes, I can repeat it. So, actually there is another way. I mean, oops, where is Silvana? Oh, here you go. You are muted, Silvana.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I just got disconnected.
Okay.
Okay. Can you just maybe repeat the last part?
Yes. So, Mhm. There are two things here. One is that how many, yes, oftentimes we mix up awareness with judgments. Like I can become aware of a situation will be a contribution, but also I can have a judgment that this situation is a contribution. For example, you ask for a new possibility to generate more money, and suddenly a person shows up and tells you, this is this great company and you have to invest money and then it will come back to you like 40 times. Just because you were asking for the possibility, it doesn't mean that anyone or everyone who shows up is a contribution. So you still need to test the situation, you still need to test the person. So you need to connect either to the person or to that possibility what the person is offering to you and ask the question, is it a contribution if I choose this? Like, will it generate money if I choose this? Or will it generate that much money? Or will it generate money in short term? Or will it generate money ever in this lifetime? So we still need to ask questions. Like what I mentioned before, you can ask the question regarding a symptom that, is this a symptom that is about me, about my body? Or what should I be aware of? Is there something I should be aware of? Like, is it belong to someone else? What is the information behind this? Like, asking questions can really contribute to become more aware of what is really happening. It's like, let's say, try to avoid to function from that point of view that we know anything because it already happened to us. Like, how many times we had something that happened to us, and from that moment we try to like record it and store it in our logical mind, saying that if this will happen again next time, then I will know what needs to be done, because I need to respond the same way as I did this time. Cool. All right. All right. So that was that part about the body. Like, let's say we have some problem with this whole situation because as a being, we are so connected to the body, and our body is like a radio locator. It's taking so much information from the environment. Like, your body can take information from other bodies that are even on the other side of the planet. However, sometimes we have some connection with those other bodies. Sometimes we have no connection in this lifetime. But still, you can sense the pain, the suffering, the tiredness of other people. And we can sense their emotional problems as well. Like, you can become sad, you can become upset, however, it doesn't belong to you. But let's say there is a situation around you, and logically you say, this is why I'm upset, or this is why I feel so tired, or this is why I feel so sick. Maybe this or that happened. So you try to create a conclusion. However, the whole situation doesn't belong to you. It was just something that your body was telling you. Your body was showing you information, but we didn't take it as information. We took it as a state, as a symptom, and we try to cure it, to take some tablets, to go to sleep, or to have a rest. So, and because of that, we continuously like avoiding to use all this information. We continuously avoiding to recognize that our body has amazing capacities. It has much more, not just this to pick up information from other people's reality, but this is also a very important part. And the bad message is that as a conclusion, we say, okay, now I'm sick. And this body is sick so often. This body has so many problems. And oh my God, I'm so limited. But what could it change if we would start to communicate with the body? like ask questions if we have symptoms. Also, we could learn to figure it out whether that symptom is ours or someone else's, whether we made any promise or contract to continuously sense other people. Let's say in a previous lifetime you had a child and you made this promise that for all eternity I will look after my child. And that means all eternity. It means not just that lifetime, but all the lifetimes. And imagine that in this lifetime, that person who was your child in the previous lifetime living in a totally different area, maybe somewhere in Canada, and fighting with some grizzly bear and being, injured very badly. And then you sense all that pain and all those injuries in your body. However, it's not yours, but you sense it because you made that promise that you will look after your child for all eternity. So how many times you have such symptoms that's not yours at all? And even imagine that how many people you have in your life that you made such contracts and promises. Like how many partners you have. You decided, I will be with you forever for all eternity. Like I want to be with you in next lifetime. Or how many people are there you said, I want to save you next lifetime. I will not let you die. And then you start to create your life in that way, and your body is suffering a lot because it's just showing you the information that what's happening with that person. And of course we can switch it off. We can clear all these promises. We can change this. And as we do it, we start to have more ease with the body. And also we start to become more aware of what is ours. Like instead of sort of like judging our body, how weak is that, or how many problems are showing up in our body, we start to recognize that it's an amazing radio locator that gives us so much information. And actually it's more that there are much more capacities. It also can pick up like not just the information, but it can facilitate other bodies. So you can use your body to heal other people, even from distance. And there is something really amazing as a capacity that your body has, that like we can use the body in this reality on this planet with the physical structures to sort of like communicate with the physical structures through your body, like create a change in the physical structures. And the body is sort of like a key for that, because it allows you to have that communication with the physical reality, not just by touching something or cutting something, but through the vibration that your body can emit or radiate out, that can create such a change, even in a body or in any kind of physical structures. And actually, this is the capacity that people had on the Golden Planet. If you haven't heard about the Golden Planet, so in Access Consciousness, it's like Gary Douglas was talking about it. It's a place from where all the infinite beings came, and that's a place where actually you as an infinite being had the capacity to change anything and everything just as you were choosing it, without any problem. And since we left the Golden Planet, everyone has that sensation of there is something missing, like a capacity is missing, or a place is missing, or something is missing that we had access to. And the strange thing is that part of it is true and part of it is a lie, or there is sort of like we've been misled. Like for a long time, a lot of people were teaching us or telling us that you have no capacities and your body is limited, and your body will die and you will have lots of illnesses and you cannot change things. and you are finite. And this creates such a lie, a bubble of lie around you that doesn't really allow you to start to sense and look into the amazing capacities of you as an infinite being and the amazing capacities of your body, especially in this physical reality. Like many times we say that this is a physical reality, it has a very low vibration, but as a being, you are infinite. But actually, with your body as well, infinite. And the reason the body is an amazing gift, it's not just because be happy because you have a body and you can enjoy all the fun on this planet. Yes, that's true. That's one part why it is a gift. But the other part is that your body was created in such a specific way that it can pick up, it can take the vibration of the infinite being that you are, and it can create the embodiment for the infinite being. I'm not saying that it is a body that you can control. It's much more. Your body has the same capacities as the being, but it can have these capacities in this physical structural reality. But we just don't use it and we don't play with that. And this is what we need to start to have this exploration, to have this adventure and start to see how it really works. So the acoustic body is your body, but we are functioning from limitations with the body. Like we see the body or look at the body as it's very limited. So there are like another state of the body that we are functioning from most of the time, which is the electric body, which means the body is functioning from so many polarities that we put into it, or we function from the body with these polarities. It's like limitations, and that slows down the body, and that makes the body so finite, so limited. And actually, at the same time, your body still have the capacity of the acoustic body. It still have the way to function from that space. There is the homeopathic ailment, if you heard about it, when there is a tiny tablet, and let's say they don't put the minerals or the herbs in it, they only place the vibration of that in certain levels. And the amazing thing, when you take the right tablet that the person gives you, then your body can pick up the information and your body can respond to it. So your body still can work with information. It's such an amazing thing that your body has the capacity to work with information, and it can be healed. It can change. And actually, we were playing with this and went to a shop. It's called a bio shop, or a place where they sell organic products, like organic or bio. In some parts of the world, they use these two words. These like herbs or fruits and vegetables, and also so many kinds of like tablets or products that are very pure in quality. So was not sprayed and didn't use any chemical things in that. So went into this shop and told to the body, hey body, now it's heaven, and take everything you desire. Anything or everything that you need, just take it. And it was really like heaven. So like within seconds, the body was filled up. I felt like totally like had all kinds of minerals or anything that my body was requiring, like becomes so energized and so refreshed and so amazing sensation for the body. But I also told the body, hey, if you would like to take any of this physically, show me and I will buy that. So it's, of course, I'm ready to buy it. It's not just that way, because why not? what does our body know that we don't? Like, I don't try to be the smart guy. Let's follow the body. And I went to different shelves and took those tablets or those products and those fruits and bought it and enjoyed it. So your body really has the capacity, not just to communicate, but to take information and take energy, and your body can work with that. It can change, it can recover, it can heal. So would you allow yourself and would you allow your body to start to give you more information? Are you willing to be in question regarding your body? Are you willing to receive all that information and start to look into what capacities your body has? And in that way, a totally different reality can show up for you. You start to have more and more, like, let's say it's like the whole spectrum of information. For example, there is a spectrum of visible information for you. There is a spectrum of audible information. It's like, what is the frequency that is audible for human beings, or what is the frequency of light that is visible to humans? But there is beyond that. And would you allow yourself to receive even what is beyond your physical sensations capacities? Like, how much do we play with energy? Like, if you do, let's say, body processes, you put your hands on the body and you sense that the energy is flowing. Even you can sense the energy is hot or it's cold, or there is some vibration in your hands, or it feels like needle pinching on your skin. So there are so many sensations, but there is far more beyond. Like when you're communicating with entities, that would require you to go far more beyond. So, like, even you can communicate with nature around you, with a concrete wall around you, or with the house where you live in. You can start to read the information of the past in that house. You can start to communicate with that and figure it out, what happened, or what are those memories that are still logged into that house that, let's say, affect your business, or that affects your family, that affects your happiness, or even that affects your body. So would you allow yourself to start to expand your capacities of communication even to the beyond, that is beyond the five senses? Do you have any question? So actually, like, what would it take to start to, like, allow your body to move from the state of electric into the state of acoustic? To start to remove all these programs, all these limitations about that keeps your body or maintains that limited body. Because actually, you are the one who owns your body. Like, why would we allow all the programs and limitations of this reality to limit this amazing body? It's like you have a Ferrari, but you don't use it as a Ferrari because you don't have a user manual, and you think it's like a Trabant, or I don't know, it's some old type of car. And as you start to use various techniques or various processes, the body can be transformed. You can give more space to the body, and on the way, you can also learn more about what else is really possible with your body. Like, you know, when you would like to do something, you keep thinking about, like you keep thinking how you stand up, how you jump over like a piece of wood, or how you jump over like a 1 meter distance, but your body could do it immediately at the same time when you just see it has to be done. Like I had an experience, one of the person who attended the acoustic body class, like a woman, and in one situation a man wanted to sexually abuse her, and her mind just switched off, and she pushed back the man, and she was in the kitchen and there was a knife next to her hand, and just picked up the knife and dropped towards the man, and it went next to the head, right into the wall behind him, and the man just was so shocked and then ran away, you know, changed his mind. And the woman was not thinking at all, but her way of shooting the knife was so precise. It went where it should go. And like, this is like ultra sense. You have this capacity. Would you allow your body to use ultra sense, where you don't have to think, but the body works together with the being immediately, without the need for control of thoughts, without the need of fear or doubt. So actually we have this class, the 3-day Your Acoustic Body class that starts in CBU on this weekend, on the 28th of January. Or so a day before, on Thursday evening, we are planning to have a bar swap with a taster of the acoustic body process. And the whole class is about, like, the main purpose of the class is to, one part is to start to work with our body and allow the body to transform from electric to acoustic. And on the way, we start to have more and more experience and more information about what else is really possible with the body, in which many ways we can use the body. But on the other hand, as we transform the body, it also gives us much more space as a being, because oftentimes we are so linked, so strongly connected to the body, that we think that we are equal to the body and we function from the limitations of the body. So as we remove the limitations of the body, we sort of like give more space to ourselves, and that allows us to become more and more infinite. And that also like gives more space to the body. So it creates sort of like an upward spiral where we and the body also becomes free and more space. That creates more possibilities. And what we would like to do is to sort of like release all these limitations, release all that energies and all the implants that are holding us tight in this reality. What else we would like to talk about or hear about? Because like there were so many amazing examples of what happened at the classes. I mean, yeah, like one of the thing was just a bit funny. Like there was a lady who had like one of her bra was smaller than the other one, and then she said she would like to change that. And another lady was working with her and giving her the process, and her idea was, like, this person who was helping her to, that maybe the other bra should go smaller. And then they started to ask questions and recognize that the smaller one would like to grow bigger. And suddenly the whole thing started to change. And within a few minutes, the smaller one started to grow the same size and started to fill up that side of the bra. So and after the class, it stayed like that, like both became the same size. And so to me, that's so amazing, because, you know, it wasn't me. It was a person who attended the class, and they did it during the class. So it's not just something that I have a capacity as a person who is the founder of the class, but it's also for anyone who is attending the class. And those people who are practicing it, because I would invite everyone to please not just practice during the class, but please practice after the class, like practice it on yourself, like at least for 3 weeks. But why would anyone stop after the 3 weeks? Because it's like a so amazing situation that creating that space for you. Like, what would it take for the people to really have this capacity and use this capacity and play with this capacity in their daily life? Like, what would it take for everyone to start to function from the infinite being that they truly be? Like, oftentimes we are waiting for someone. We expect that, we think that we are small, we are powerless, and we are no one. We cannot change anything. And actually, we expect that someone else will come and save us. But now is the time to step up for each of us. And actually, we have the tools to step up. We have all the capacities to make the change. So I would invite everyone to please start to create the change. I remember there was a man who called me from the United States, and he told me that like 20 years ago, he moved to a very nice and calm, relaxing area of the city. They were next to the forest. And 5 years ago, some chemical company moved next to them, and they started to flush out the paints and the chemical residues into the forest. And they started to dump there all the rubbish, this chemical rubbish. And the forest started to be disgusting, and everything was piling up, this shit. And they went to the mayor, they went to all kinds of green parties, and no one was able to help. No one was able to change this company or to make a fine, so they have to clear it up. And there is this thing, what I call the contribution process. So we did this contribution with this man, and what happened that 2 weeks later, he called me and he told me that, like, guess what? Suddenly, this company sent their like big trucks and picked up all the rubbish. So they cleared the whole site in the forest. They even like replaced the soil that was there was this toxic residue, and they replaced it and brought fresh new soil. So something has changed, and no one knew what happened, but this just happened. And since then, the company doesn't do such things. So there are so many different ways how we can contribute. And I would like to invite everyone, please, if you come to the class, please play with it and create a change around you. Start to create the change in the world, because we have capacities and we need to use the capacities. And if we have no points of view, we can really change anything around us. And we are the one who will recognize what is it that needs to be changed. What are those situations that are not contributing to us, that if we can change, like, we don't need to have 100 or 1,000 people to march on the streets. We ourselves, we can do it, because in many ways we are interconnected. We are infinite beings, multidimensional beings. We are not powerless. We are so powerful, but because of all the lies that we bought into, we don't use the power that we have. And I would like to invite everyone to please start to use your power, find your power, and look around in the world in which many ways we can change this reality. Because what we change or what we create, this is our future. So let's create the future for us, for the infinite beings, for the next generation. It's up to us to do this. Cool. Do we have any last question? Actually, if you would like to register for the class, so it will be in Sibiu, and Silvana is the translator and she's the host as well. So you can turn to her. If you would like to know or find out any further details, please feel free to contact her. And what else is really possible? I think there is some comments in the chat box.
So thank you for everything. Can I receive the recording? People are grateful. They're saying thank you.
Well, yes, of course, the recording. I mean, we can send out the recording, but we don't have email addresses. So if anyone can send us, if anyone is registered or signed up for the newsletter, or if you are not, please give your email address to Silvana and we can forward the recording as well, of course.
Actually, I'm going to type my email address and my phone number in the chat, okay? Because
of course.
it's easier. And if anyone wants to contact me regarding anything.
Mm-hmm. Also, I can share the Facebook event link if someone has it. And also we can, yeah, share the details in the Facebook groups. Cool. Okay.
So there's someone who would like the recording.
Yes.
His email address. Okay. Is there any way you can copy the chat?
Oh, yeah, that will be recorded. We have the chat separately. We have access to it. Cool. All right. So thank you for everyone for joining us, and hope you have an amazing week. Hope we meet in live. And what else is really possible, or what magic is possible for all of us, and what is the future that we can create here. Amazing. So have an amazing week and create more magic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for Silvana. Thank you for all of you. See you. Bye-bye.